Okay, so the Gemara begins on Kuf Lamed Daled. It's really beginning from Kuf Lamed Gimel, but the Gemara retells a story of Maaseh b'Beis Choron. So Maaseh b'Beis Choron is talking about Ve'achad shehaya avid moder himenu hana. So the father, we're going to go Yakov over here. Yakov is moder hana from his son Yosef. So Yakov says, I'm not ever going to have hana from Yosef. So he continues, V'haya meisi v'no, and Yosef is then is marrying off Ephraim. So V'amar lachaver. So Yosef's saying to his friend over here, Binyamin, Hari chatzer sudan nisun lach b'matana v'inin lefanecha el kadesh yavo ava v'yochal imanu b'suda. So he says to Yosef, Yosef says to Binyamin, I'm giving you my field over here. So what's the point of that? The Gemara, which we will be quoting later, actually very soon in Nidarim, says that if you're moder hana from someone, then that someone can give that item to someone else, to a third party. And that way, the person who's moder hana from the second guy can go and eat that food up from the third guy. So over here, Yosef is going to give the item to Binyamin. And that way, Yosef's father, Yaakov, is able to have hana. So Amar lo, Binyamin told him, Im shalihin, if it's really mine, harihin mukdash l'shamayim, I'm going to make it mukdash to Hashem. So Amar lo, lo nasati lach es shali shitakti sham l'shamayim. I didn't give it to you. There you're going to be makdash it to Shemayim. I gave it to you so you have the field now and all the food prepared for the wedding. And now my father, who's moder enough for me, will actually be able to participate in Ephraim's wedding. So Amar lo nasata li eshalach el shetei atu v'avicha ochlin v'shosin uratzin zel zeh. The only reason why you gave the field to me is because you wanted your father to participate. That's what Binyamin is telling Yosef. So with that being the case, he's giving his father, you're giving your father an ability to come and eat and drink and appease himself at the wedding. V'hei avon tali barosho. And the wedding, and through my actions of taking care of the field, I'm going to have an avon, right? Because I'm going to be facilitating the sin of Yaakov, who's not allowed to have hana from Yosef's actions. I'm going to be allowing Yaakov to break his vow and be moder hana. So Amr Chachamim, this is basically where the chabura is beginning. So Amr Chachamim, Kol matana she'ena she'im hektisha mikdeshes ena matana. Any matana, any gift that if you can't make it hektish, right? If you can't make it kadosh to Hashem, it's not considered a gift. So over here, it's not considered a gift because you can't make it hektish. Because Binyamin tried and he was unable to make it hektish because Yosef protested. And we all saw from Yosef's intentions that he never actually wanted to give the field to Binyamin. The only reason why he gave the field to Binyamin was to circumvent the situation and allow Yaakov to come and eat. So I'm just going to get the Gemara from Nidarim over here. So the Gemara in Nidarim is quoted in the Mishnah, right? Right? So back to this case. Yaakov is moder hana, for example, from Yosef. And he has nothing to eat. So nosna lacher. So Yaakov, who's hungry, Yosef's going to give that food to a third party, l'shem matan, as a gift. And the third guy is able to give it to the first guy. So Yaakov is able to go and eat it from Binyamin. So Maaseh b'echad b'Beis Choron shehaya aviv noder himenu hana v'haya meisi b'no v'amar lachaveru chatzer suda nesunim hinam l'fanecha el kadei sheyavo abba v'yochal imanu b'suda. So this story continues, and the Mishnah concludes, as we were saying, Amr Chachamim Kol matana she'ena she'im hektisha tehei mikdeshes in matana. Any gift that will not be, you won't be able to be makdish, that is not considered a gift. So the Gemara starts and says, Maisa Lister. So the story you just said contradicts what was at the first part of the Mishnah, because the first part of the Mishnah said the first party is able to go and eat it from the third guy. But over here, Yaakov is unable to eat it from, seemingly it's been in Binyamin's hands. So Chaseri Machzer V'Hachi Katani, it's missing words. But the only reason why Yaakov is allowed to eat it is because we actually gave it to Binyamin, right? Yosef actually gave it to Binyamin. Had he not, right? If your sofa, your final actions contradicts the tchila, so it's aser. So umay we have a proof. We have an exact case like this. The base chor. Right? Our story is that Yosef told Binyamin, please let my father come and eat. So with that, he showed his true intentions, and because he showed his true intentions, Yaakov was not able to eat. So Amar Rava, lo shanu elo de Amar le, The only reason why it's us over here in Beis Haran is because he said, Yosef's only giving Binyamin the field because Yosef said to Binyamin, in order my father could eat. So clearly we're showing that the Moder Hana person doesn't actually, we're only doing this entire actions of a third party, in order the Moder Hana person can come and eat. So the Sofa is going to be Hochiach L'Tchilasa. So Aval Amar Lai Shehu Lefenecha Sheval Abba Midaitechal Hud Amar Lai. So in the Mishnah, the first part of the Mishnah, we're saying Hamoder Hana Mechaver Vein Lamayochal Nesan La'acher L'Shem Matana V'La Moterba. So Yaakov was able to eat it from Binyamin if Yosef never told Binyamin the true reason as to why he wants to give him the field. Even if it's just hinted and said it would be nice that Yaakov, my father, were able to come to the wedding. That would be mutter. So Lishna Achrina, we have a different way. Amrina Allah, a different way to explain the Mishnah. Amar Abba, lo tema taima damar le vehin lefnecha hu dasar aba amar le hin lefnecha shevel abba v'yochal mutter. Don't say the entire thing is what we just said. That the only way Yaakov's able to eat from the field over here, from the sadeh and the food that is being hosted at the wedding of Yosef's son Ephraim, don't say it's when Yosef told Binyamin, didn't actually tell Binyamin, he just gave the field. He was hinting to him, please let Yaakov come. Rather, Ella filu amar le hein lefnecha yavo abo v'yochol aser. My time asudoso mochachas alav. Right? Even if Rava is saying, even if Yosef were hinting to Binyamin, not that he said it straight out, but he's hinting, nevertheless, Yaakov's not able to have hana from that. So now with this Gemara in mind that we're saying, Kol matana she'ena she'em hektisha mukdashis ina matana, right? As long as you're not able to be makdashit, because what's the entire story? The entire story is that this third party, Binyamin, to prove that Yosef didn't actually give the gift, rather he was just trying to let Yaakov come and eat and circumvent the entire problem of Moder Hana. He's saying, I'm making it makdash. And the Chacham said, since you can't make it makdash because it wasn't actually a gift, that's why ina matana. So Tosfos here asks the question, Bin Tomar, the Amar Lakaman B'Pirakin, as we explain later on in the parak, 3 bot. Halacha Esrog B'Matana Al Minas Shitachzeruhu Li Hechzeru Yatza Afal Pishul Hayach Latisha. So you're not able to give it the matana to hektish, or you're not allowed to be makdish your matana. And nevertheless, we say matana Al Minas LaHachzer Shma Matana. So what is that sugya? So the Gemara in Sukkah talks about a case where a father, or not necessarily, or the father later on, but what's more relevant now is the Mishnah talks about Yom Tov Harishon Shel Chag, talking about the first day. Ein Adam Yotzei Yidei Chavasa V'Yom Tov Harishon V'Lavo Shel Chaver. U'Shar Yom Chag Adam Yotzei Yidei Chavasa V'Lavo Shel Chaver. Only on the first day are you not able to fulfill your mitzvah with someone else's lulav, but on any other day you could. So the Gemara then picks up from there. Minani Emili. Where do we know that's true? That you have to own your lulav in Esrog. The entire Daled Minim set on the first day. Titan Rabbanim ulakachtem. Shetehei lekicha biyan echad. Kol echad v'echad. Lachem mishalachem. It has to be yours. Lachem, for you. Right? So we learn from here, lahoti etz shal v'esagazel, to exclude the cases of shal, of lending. So I can't borrow my friends, nor can I go and use a stolen esrog or lulav or whatever the Daled Minim. So Mikan Amar Chachamim Ein Adam Yotzei Yidei Chavasa V'Yom Tov Harishon Shel Chag. So that's where the Mishnah says V'Luvo Shel Chaver. The Chachamim forbade someone from using the Daled Minim of your friends. So then the Gemara continues. Umaysiv Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Azariah, Rabbi Kiva. Shayu Bain B'Sfina, that they're going on a boat. Okay, V'Lo Haya Lulav Elul Rabbi Gamliel B'Vad Shlachu Be'Elef Sus. They only had one lulav. Or I'm assuming one said Daled Minim, but even actually it could just be one lulav, and each of the other 3 Rabbanan were able to get hold of the other 3 minim. So, and that, for the Gemara, will explain later, why do we have to know the price of the elef sus? So to just quickly skip down, it says, to know how much mitzvahs were special to Rabban Gamliel. But so he spent such an exorbitant price, such an exorbitant amount of money for the lulav. But to continue with the Maisa, so not lo Rabban Gamliel v'yatzabel. So Rabban Gamliel was yotzei his Daled Minim. It's talking about the first day. He was yotzei his Daled Minim. V'nasel Rabbi Yoshua ben Nun b'matana. He gave it to Rabbi Yoshua as a gift. Good, because now Rabbi Yeshua owns it. So not Lu. Rabbi Yeshua Yatzabo. Rabbi Yeshua was Yotze his Dalad Minim set. V'nasnu Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Bimatana not Lu Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. V'yatzabo. So same story, right? Rabbi Gamliel gave to Rabbi Yeshua, who gave to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Then it continues. V'nasnu bimatana Rabbi Akiva, not Lu Rabbi Akiva v'yatzabo. V'yavziru Rabbi Gamliel. And then Rabbi Akiva gives it back to Rabbi Gamliel. Great. That's the Mishnah is now proven that you have to own your lulav on the first day. Lachem, misha lachem. You have to own it, right? Because you gave it as matana. Otherwise, you could just do a she'ela. So the Gemara asks, Lama li lemeimar hafzira mils. Lama li lemeimar hafzira. Why do we have to return? Why do we have to say that Rabbi Akiva returned it back to Rabbi Gamliel? So milsa agav orche kamash malan matana mnas lahafzir shma matana. It's coming to teach us that parenthetical halacha that matana mnas lahafzir. If I give a present to someone on the condition that they return that present to me, it is considered a gift. As Rabbi said, so if I give you an esrog, right, and on the first day on the condition that you return it back to me, you're guilty on the condition you give it back to me. You have to return it. Lo zero lo yatsa. So if you didn't return it, you're not guilty. And Rashi says here, if you didn't return it, it's revealed. Everyone knows that it was stolen because you didn't fill your t'nai. So Tosas comes and deals with another question over here of, I understand, why was Rabbi Akiva the one who gave it back to Rabbi Gamliel? Right? The first person who got it was Rabbi Yeshua. So what's matana amanas lahachzir? Matana amanas lahachzir is you have to return it back to the initial person. So Rabbi Akiva should not have been the one to return to Rabbi Gamliel. Rather, it is the job of Rabbi Yeshua to return it. So Tosas answers, so over here, Daito shel Rabbi Gamliel, he decided going on the boat and he recognized that each individual person was going to be Yotze. And at the end, Rabbi Akiva, or whoever the last person would be. So it's Rabbi Akiva here, he would return the item. In contrast, the Rush over here says that the Rush says, even though the entire thing is right? So you have to give it back. So it doesn't necessarily have to be each person, right? If I give you matana so you have to give it back, and then I have to do the same process. So it's not Rabbi Gamliel to Rabbi Yeshua, then back to Rabbi Gamliel, then back to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. It can be one process as long as at the end the chetza over here the dal minim is returned. So with that, now that we know the sugya, we can return back to Tosas Kasha and Kafam Daut. So yes, over here, any matana that can't be makdish, it's not considered matana. So what about matana amnas lachzir, right? If you're returning an item, seemingly you can't be makdish it. So indeed, the first answer of Tosas, v'yesh lomar, the hasem yachal latisho kol zman shehu biyado, shelo yanu acher mimanu, aval hacha lo haya yachal latisho klal, right? The Yesh Lomar says that actually you could be makdish something, and while the time being, while it's still in your possession, no one else can have hana for it. But then when you return it, it's a machlokus, right? I forgot exactly the pshatim. The footnotes in the Chidush Aran mention that the machlokus is whether or not you have to be, you have to actually be poda the esrog, right? Or actually not the esrog, sorry, bad example. Be poda whatever item was given, right? Or you can just give it back. That the din of being hektish is only on that item while it's in my possession. But the second I return it, then it's no longer considered in my possession. It's now returned to the previous item. And now it has no problem of hektish. Or the other tzad is, which seems to be what most Rishonim say, they don't really like this, they don't like the previous opinion, that you have to be poda before you return it, because otherwise you're just returning something that's hektish, which you would learn on Kaflam and Zayim, that you can't be returning something that's hektish. If he says sheyachzeruhu li. You have to give it back to me. Give it back to me in a state where I could use it. So that's the first answer. So back, what did the first answer say? They actually could be makdish it. The second answer is uliri nira dolo talyam yimena behektish. It has nothing to do with hektish, right? It would actually be a matana even if you can't be makdish, right? That you can't make it into mana. It's not considered matana. The case in Nidarim of someone being modar or not, right? Yakov is being modar or not from Yosef. The entire reason why we're talking about hektish is because that's how the story went. Binyamin elected to be makdish to show that the entire intentions of Yosef giving the field and the food or whatever it is for the wedding to Binyamin was so that Yaakov can come and eat it. So we're coming to prove that the giving was faulty. But it has nothing to do with the din of hektish. That's just what happened. You don't actually have to be makdish something. So any matana al. So you have no problem of hektish. Why do you have no problem of hektish? Because you don't have to own something enough that you could be makdish it. So now that we have that, we're going to be going to the Ran in Baba Basra. Yes. So the Ran in Baba Basra gives a different answer. He gives an answer that's somewhat similar to what we were saying. That over here, that the entire reason why it's not working is because some things have a tanai and some things need a tanai, right? So some things have a tanai. If a man says to a woman, Almanas that it rains, so that rains tomorrow. So if it rains tomorrow, great. If not, then it's not a good marriage. But that's not the definition of the Maisa. The definition of the Maisa there is Kedushin. While some things need a tanai, it's a din in, it needs a tanai. So over here by Matana Almanas Lahasir, you're just making a tanai, like please don't be makdish it, or else it was never a matana. But it's not in a din in the chavtza of the matana. Masha inkain by the thing in Nidarim. The thing in Nidarim was the Beis Choron. The entire idea of the tanai was the essence of the matana. Please don't be makdish it, right? It's you cannot be makdish it. The entire point is that I want you to have the field. So my father Yaakov can come and eat at the wedding I'm making for Ephraim. So really, you don't need to be able to be makdish it to prove that matana was a proper matana. You have to have a matana that isn't totally on something which is just not possible, which is over here in the case of the Dharam by the Beis Choron. It's a din of you can't be makdish it because I need you to have a hold of it because it's makdish no can have hana. And if it's in Binyamin's possession, that's the only way Yaakov can come and eat at the wedding. So that is what the Iran says. So back to what we were saying with the Rush. The Rush says, quickly, I forgot to say this at the beginning, which was my fault, that I would like to thank Michal Chak and Rav Zuckerman for incredibly helping me. Like without them, this chabura would not be very good. So sorry for not putting that heads up at the beginning. Okay, so what did we say by the Rush? The Rush said that you need to, what did the Rush say? The Rush said that you need to, sorry, 1 second. The Rush said, that it's a din, sorry. I said Tosas, great. Tosas in the Ran. And now we're going to be visiting the Rush. So the Rush on, Kuf Lamed Zayin, talks about that you have to have the item given over. It has to be, I can't find the exact lashon now, which is a problem because you want the lashon. But the matana al nas lahagsir has to be a complete giving of the item. Actually, it's on the wrong one. Here, sorry. That you have to be able to give the matana has to be a matana gemura. So with that, the Ksos wants to explain that the matana gemura that the matana gemura that the Rush is saying over here, that it's also similar to what the Ritva was saying in Kiddushin, right? That's the third place where Matana Maslahasir is spoken about, right? If it's a true Matana, can you be Mekadosh a woman with it? The Gemara concludes, really is your item, and you can use it for a lot of things like Pidyon Ben or like anything. But Kiddushin you can't because it's similar to Chalipin. And Chalipin's not allowed because the Gemara earlier in the Masechta says that the Mishnah says that you can get married 3 ways. Mashma, it's excluding another way. What's that way it's excluding? It's Chalipin. And since this is very similar to Chalipin, right? Matana Maslahasir, you're bartering some stuff, you're giving stuff here, some people are getting it back, that it looks like Chalipin because that you can't be Mikudesh as a woman. So the Rosh says that the reason why the Rosh and the Ritva say the reason why you need the only way a Matana Maslahasir works is if you have a Matana Gemura. To be able to have a Matana Maslahasir. If it's not a Matana Gemura, right? For example, in a case where let's say Yosef gives a field to Binyamin, let's use the same names. Yosef gave a field to Binyamin, I'm gonna ask that in 10 minutes you give it back. So in 10 minutes give it back, that according to the Rosh, that's just a she'ela. You're just borrowing it. So because you can only use it for 10 minutes, right? But either way, according to the Rosh, you have to have a kinyan to return it back. Because how do you give back an item? If you're saying it's a Matana Gemura, it's a complete giving, then it's a complete giving. So the only way that Yosef gets the item back from Binyamin is by how any other case you would retrieve an item. And if it's a she'ela, the only way you get it back, you have to give the item back as a kinyan. Similar to, he doesn't differentiate between Matana Gemura and a she'ela. The Ksos's own opinion is that for Matana Maslahasir to work, it has to, as long as the recipient has access to the guf, not just the Paris, but the guf. So whether it be in 10 minutes or in whatever, an unspecified time, I have to return the tree, I still have the tree. So it is mine. So these two types of Matanas Maslahasir they differ slightly, right? For one, the time item, that in 10 minutes, right as the timer, according to Ksos, right as the 10 minutes are up, then it goes right back to the previous guy. The Ksos compares it, if the Gemara over here is on Kuf Lamed Zayin, but it's a continue of Matana Maslahasir, but it's a continuation on the Gemara of, I believe it starts Kuf Lamed Kuf Lamed Vav, and it continues throughout of Kinyan Peros Kikinyan Gofdami or Lav Kikinyan Gofdami. So actually that should be later. Sorry, it's a continuation of the Gemara of in that topic of Kinyan Gofdami or Lav Kikinyan Gofdami. It talks about Acharecha. So if it's Acharecha, what's the case? The case on top of Kuf Lamed Zayin is that I give the field to you, and so Yaakov gives the field to Yosef. Now let's do Naphtali gives the field to Yosef. On the condition upon Naphtali's death, Yosef gives the field to Binyamin. So the second Naphtali dies, Yosef comes and gives the field to Binyamin. It has nothing to do with Yosef giving the item to Binyamin. There's no kinyan necessary. So similar over here with the Matana Maslahasir, it's a time bomb. The second the timer goes off, then the item reverts right back to the previous owner, which is over here Yosef, right? Because Yosef gave Binyamin a tree, and the second those 10 minutes are up, you give it back to Yosef. The other case of Matana Maslahasir is just a stam case of, here, I have my tree. The second Binyamin wants to give the item back. Seemingly, you don't have to do a kinyan either, right? There's no kinyan chazaka, neser, or kesef, whatever it is. The only thing you need to do is Binyamin has to say, okay, I'm done using the gof and the cart and the peros, and for that, there's no kinyan neser, and Binyamin immediately gives the field back to Yosef. So the Ksos he's reading the Rosh, and the Rosh talks about it in the Masechta over here in Bava Basra. But I think Bava Basra might be Soka actually. But the Ksos, it just stretches out the question, which is, how does the Rosh permit Matana Maslahasir by an esrog? Right? If you're saying the esrog is a din of the second I have it, you have to give it right back, right? But that's a she'ela. It's only temporary. If it's temporary, then you have a problem, because the Rosh says specifically it's a she'ela. It's a gift. Unlike it's just a gift, and it's not a gift. It's a borrowing. but the pasuk says lachem, and the Gemara in Sukkah on Mem Aleph darshaned that you need lachem mishalachem, that which is yours. So the Ktsos is bothered by that, and he explains what the Rosh is saying, that it's not really a problem with the Ktsos, because the Ktsos says that the second you get the guf, what's the guf here? The esrog. Once you are able to get the esrog, then who cares if it's short term or long term? At the end of the day, you're still able to have access to the guf. But he understands the Ktsos that the Gemara on the top of Kuf Lam and Zayin talks about why else would he give the field or the esrog, right? If when Binyamin takes the esrog from Yosef, but he's only Yosef for whatever, those 10 minutes, that hour, however long it has before he finally shakes the down and meet him, if that's the case, and he's not Yotze because it's a She'ela, because according to the Rush, you have a problem of She'ela if it's not an indefinite matana. It has to be a matana gemura, as we said. Here it's not, because you only have it for that short time. You only have it for that day before you have to return it back to the previous owner of Yosef, so he can continue using the esrog for the rest of Sukkot. So why else would he give it? So it must be right? The Gemara is talking about kinyan paris kinyan guf dami alav kinyan guf dami. Over there, everyone is gonna agree. Whether you say if someone only has the paris, or whether you have the paris, right? The paris is you can use the esrog, because paris you're giving the paris. When it's a shela, you just aren't giving the guf. But by an esrog specifically, everyone agrees. Whether it's Rebbe who says kinyan haguf is lavka per kinyan. Reish Lakish, whatever. It's machlokas. Over here, they're going to try to bring it back to Rebbe and Reb Shimon Gamliel. Right? Rebbe's going to say kinyan paris haguf kinyan haguf. Kinyan paris kinyan haguf. I mean, Reb Shimon Gamliel is going to say it's not. So over here, nevertheless, everyone's going to agree that it is a good gift of not just of the paris, but also of the guf of the esrog. Because why else would you want to go shake the esrog? The only reason why Yosef gave Binyamin the esrog is so he can use it for the daled mina. So with that being the case, you could say that's what the Rosh is going to say over here. That the entire reason why you're getting it's dafka by the esrog that you have a specific din of guf. But seemingly the Rosh would still require any other. The Rosh does require the Nisin to give back. He's not going to hold like the cells that you're going to need to shake you need to give a kinyan, make a kinyan when you return it. He's going to continue holding up, he says. But esrog specifically, it's davka by an esrog where he also gets the guf. But any other, he's owning the esrog, right? It's a matana gemura, even though it's only temporary. And because of that matana gemura, he's able to use it. But any other matana that's short term, it's going to be a she'ela. So you're not going to be able to own it. So to bring it all home, it might be possible to say that the Rush is like the Yesh Lomar in Tosas on Kuf Lamed Dalid, right? What was back to what Tosas said on Kuf Lamed Dalid? Tosas said over there that the Yesh Lomar says, how could Matana al-Nas lahachzer, how is it a true Matana? Matana al-Nas lahachzer is only a true Matana, as the Gemara says, you have to be able to be matish it. So over there, you actually are able to matish it. So the Rush says maybe he'll say like the Yesh Lomar, that maybe it will be Matana al-Nas lahachzer, with it will be a matana gemura, and the only way to prove they have a matana gemura is by either being matish it, So if you're not able to matish it, then it's not true matana. And in fact, the Rush does say something along those lines on Kuf Lamed Daled in Simin Lamed Ches. He says, "V'lav davka lahatish elahua dinami im in yachol lisna b'matana olamocher de'ina matana im lo sheyuchol lasus b'kol chavto." If you're not able to do anything that typical owner is able to do, i.e., be matish it to Hashem or to be mocher it, if you're not able to do that, then you're not considered the owner, which seemingly is exactly what the Yesh Lomar is saying. Because the Yesh Lomar said that you are able to matish it with a matana al-Nas Natzir. Because when you're giving that item, it's a matana gemura. So it seems to be that the Rush is saying exactly like the Yesh Lomar. And the Ran, who's on the other side, would concur with the Ri. Right? What did the Ri say? The reason you don't actually, for a matana, to own the matana, you don't actually need to own the matana enough that you're matish it. It's just, that's the example in the Nidarim. The reason why you need, over there, speaking about matana, being matish it, is because over there, that's what this story was. Kachaya. But to own the matana enough that you are able to use it as an esrog, or you're able to own it, it could just be sufficient that you own the guf, right? Which could be what the Sos is saying as well. The Ran says that the problem with the matana in the case of Beis Choron is that when you give it, it's a bad giving. When you make a bad giving, that's when matana manas lachzer is not going to work. So also but any other time's a good gift, right? As the Ran said that you some things are the Tanai is just happens to be a condition, like we said with the kiddushin, it's just a condition. Please, it has to be rain. Some are it's a din in the item, so it's a din in the item that you have to own. You have to allow my father Yakov to be to have hana at the wedding. That's what the case in Beis Choron is. So that's why it's not going to work. And the Re says over here that it is a problem of grua. It's a bad gift. And similarly, the Ran says over there the reason why it doesn't work in Beis Choron is because it's not a good gift, right? The lashon he used is the exact lashon he used is that it was a lashon. I forgot the lashon exactly. The lashon was the item. Sorry about that. The lashon he used is that it is the entire reason why you're giving it is because it's not lashon. He said here, the problem is the din in the matana of returning the item back to return of the actual item. The problem is when Yosef gave the field to Binyamin, so Yaakov get it. The entire reason why is to try to circumvent the system of Moder Hana. But that doesn't work because it's, as the Ran says and as the Re says, the entire problem is that that Yosef is never actually giving up the item. So according to the Ran and the Re, seemingly you can put them together, that the Ran and the Re say you have to own the item, but not enough that you're actually matish it, because that's not a din in a matana. You have to be able to be mocher or matish it. Rather, it's a din in you have to just be able to use it like that you own the guf, like a regular item. But you don't have to own it completely. While the Rush says, as we saw in Lamed Ches, I believe, Siman Lamed Ches on Kuf Lamed Dalet, and the Re says over here, the Yesh Lomar says over here, that you have to be able to own the matana enough that you're matish it, or even mocher. That's what the Rush says in a different lashon. So seemingly those two are together. To which the Ksos says, when he's explaining the Rush, Lav Davka, not necessarily do you require a matana to be matish, as we only mentioned matish by Beis Choron as an extreme. Rather, you can say matana almanas lahachzer is you need the guf of the item. So you don't need a matana gemura. Rather, you just need to own the guf. So someone can be considered the owner with just the guf, but without the ability to be matish it. I don't know the sugya well enough, but it could be that's true because the Mishnah on Kuf Lamed Vav says Hakosif Nechasav Levanav Tzarech Sheichtov Me'Hayom Acher Misa, right? From now until my death. So when he says from now, at this moment, the father here, Yaakov, is giving it to Yosef. Yosef owns the guf, and Yaakov owns the pears. And according to Rebbe, at least that one shita, you're not allowed to be mocher it, right? Only Rebbe Shimon ben Gamliel, and that's even b'diavad. L'chachli, you can't be mocher it. So seemingly it should be the same thing with matish, because as we saw with the Rush, that matish and being mocher able to give it to Hashem, and the giving it, whether it be giving it to Hashem or selling it to another person, they're the same din. So because they're the same din, you should be able to say that the son owns the guf and the father owns the peros. And because the son owns the guf and the father owns the peros, then the son's not able to be matishit. And because the son's not able to be matishit, then he's still the owner, right? He's still owner of the guf, and that he's the owner of the guf, but he's owner of the item, but he's not able to be matishit. And now that he's not able to be matishit, we can bring that back to what the Re and the Ran were saying, that for a matana, you don't actually have to be able to be matishit, you just need to own the guf, the actual item. So to conclude, the Rush and the Yesh Lomar seem to be saying the same thing, that you need to be able to have matana al nas only works because you own the matana. Because you own it, you're able to be matishit. Or as the Rush adds on, you have to be able to be mocher it. The Ri and the Ran, I think for sure, and possibly even the Ksos says that you being able to be matrish has nothing to do with the actual item, right? That's just a case in Nidarim on Memchas, talking about being trying to circumvent the system. So someone who's modar out, someone who forbade himself from having enough from someone. From here, it's the father from the son. That Yosef's not able to have, that Yaakov's not able to have hana from Yosef. Yosef gives it to Binyamin, so Yaakov can have the hana. There, the only reason why is because it's a matana grua, it's a bad matana. But if it were a good matana, you don't actually have to be able to be makdish it. It's not, you don't have to go that far, but it's nevertheless a matana that's yours, and you can use that esrog, right, on the matana on the naslahaf. So you can use that esrog, so you could be yotze lachem, it's yours, but you don't have to be makdish it. So that's where the two camps are. On the one hand, you have to be makdish it. On the other hand, you don't have to be makdish it to have it a din in matana. And then back to what we would say by the Rush and probably the Yeshlom, if you're going to put them together, that by esrog, it's temporary. It's temporarily his, right? Until he's done shaking with it. And when he's done shaking with it, what do you mean? It's not lachem yishal lachem. It has to be yours. But according to the Rush, it's only yours if you're giving him matana gemura. But if it's only temporary, like here's your esrog for 10 minutes, go please shake. That's not yours. It's a she'ela. We already said it's a borrowing. So by esrog, it's different because the entire reason why you want the esrog is not for the payros, right? You're not going to, I don't know, be tossing around the esrog, whatever it is. You're not going to be using the esrog and then say, here you go, and return it back. Binyamin's not going to return it back to Yosef. The entire thing you need is that you need the guf, the actual esrog itself. You need the guf of the esrog to shake the dalad mina. And exclusively by esrog, as the Gemara said at the top of Kuf Lamed Zayin, that imepik lo napik the mayav niele. Why else would he have given it to him? So exclusively by esrog does he get a guf, even when does the person recipient of the matanas almanas lahachser, matana almanas lahachser, only there does he get the guf of the item, but otherwise he'd only get the pairs. So at the end, I think we can conclude that you can put the entire thing of Tos in the Ran and fit it back into Tosos, which is found at the top of Kuf Lamed Daled.